Welcome back. We are here in Kitchen 143. I am your host, Michelle Aventajado, and this is the second episode of a three-part series in celebration of World Pasta Month, all month long, with San Remo. Okay, so I hope you were able to join us last week because, well, last week's episode was so delicious. I think I may have gained 5 pounds just from that week alone. It's the whole month long. We are celebrating not just Down Syndrome Awareness Month, not just my birthday month, but also World Pasta Month. And of course, when we talk about celebrations and the birthday that I just celebrated this past Saturday, pasta is always included. So whether it's in the Italian household that we have or the Filipino household, we know pasta and noodles are always on the table. So this week, we're going to continue the World Pasta Month celebration with some more recipes and, of course, some more special guests. First up, quite the young chef. He is the executive chef at Stonehill Sweets in Bacolod, and he is also an alumni of Enderon colleges here in Manila, just like Chef Nico from last week. He is also the chef and owner of Berbesa Bistro. He is Chef Don Colmenares. Hi, Chef. How are you?
Hi. I'm very, very good.
Excellent. Welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us. I know you're tuning in all the way from Bacolod, so we're really happy that you could make time for us. I know how busy you are.
Oh, I'm very happy. More than happy to do this for you guys. No problem at all.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So joining Chef Dawn and I is also a mom of a very energetic toddler. But of course, she finds time and energy to do all kinds of projects and cooking and, also a mommy blogger, mommy influencer. She's a business graduate from Southville International School and Colleges. And although she didn't study culinary, she's still a great cook who runs her own vegan shop called Cholate, which is, of course, her family's cute way of saying chocolate. Please welcome Raleigh Guzman-Pagtalunan. Hi, Raleigh. Oh, you're muted. Let's unmute.
Sorry, I didn't notice. Hi,
That's okay.
everyone. Hi, Miss Michelle. Hi, Chef.
Oh, please call me Michelle. I'll call you Raleigh. Call me Michelle. Okay, before we start chatting and of course get into our cuentos and our stories about pasta and family cooking and kitchen love, let's just shoot everybody a reminder because we do have our viewers who are tuning in. Wow, I see. Hello, Sir Don, Chef. Hello, Sir Don from Angelica San Luis. She must know you from Bacolod. And then we have Mock, who is also saying hello, Chef. I don't know if you remember Mock from the Bacolod food trip that we met on as well. So it's so nice to see. We have some mommy friends joining in. We have some of our loyal viewers, of course, who love to watch. And guys, let us know where you're signing in from. I know you're also here because there are lots of fun prizes as well. We're not just learning about how to, stir up some kitchen love. We're going to help you and empower you to make these same dishes at home. So before we get on with the interview, our Quiz the Cook questions, winners will be taking home La Española EVOO. Of course, you guys know EVOO is very important when cooking pasta, extra virgin olive oil. We also have EVOO with truffle. And then, of course, we have our San Remo products, which are featured in the recipes today. We have lasagna and fettuccine. Okay, we are broadcasting live from Rapplers and Mama and Manila's Facebook page and also on Rapplers Twitter and YouTube accounts as well. Guys, if you want to win the prizes from San Remo, you have to make sure you share the live stream, make sure it's set to public so we can see it. And of course, remember hashtag sharing is caring. And you have to be the first, the fourth, the third, and the fourth person to answer the questions correctly. There are 5 opportunities to win. So of course, now that we've gotten that out of the way, Chef and Raleigh, I'm excited. First, Chef, tell us, how how you found your love in the kitchen. I mean, I know you're quite young, but established as a chef as well as chefs go anyway, right? Where did you find, or where were you inspired to follow your passion in the kitchen?
Oh, it was actually a while back. My grandmother is on my father's side is from Pampanga, from Guagua. So Pampanga, they know their food. And when I was younger, she would always sit me on the kitchen table, and then she'd always cook. And then every time she'd cook, she'd make me try the food. She'll say, "Oh, tikman mo." And then if
Mm.
I like it, I'll swallow. If I don't like it, I'll spit it out. And she'll go, "Okay, we have to change it."
So you were the taste tester from early on.
Oh, yeah. I actually, a lot of the recipes that she used to do, I still remember now because of that.
Aw. So what are some of
Yeah.
those recipes? Do any of them include pasta?
Yeah, well, in a way, yeah, because
Okay.
I learned how to make my first lasagna at the age of 8.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
young. 8 years old. That's younger
eight
than
years
my
old.
That's fantastic. So,
Yeah.
Ralph, I know that your story, your kitchen passion, your love of food and cooking up and service. I know that your story is kind of similar to Chef Don's.
Yeah.
You found inspiration as well. Why don't you tell us about where you found inspiration to get into the kitchen?
I grew up with my grandmother until I was 6 years old. I lived with her. And then she owned a small cafeteria canteen in Mandaluyong. And then, of course, she'd wake up at around 3 a.m. and she'd start cooking, and I'd be with her. I was also the taste tester. I'd be there and I'd order everything she cooks. Ang sarap lahat. Oh my God. Authentic home cooked meals. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I just woke up one day, after studying business, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to open my own restaurant.
Okay, awesome. So I really see a theme here. There is definitely Lalas who love to cook and pass on that service and that passion of serving up something good. This is definitely a unifying theme. So for me, it was also my grandma and my mom. I grew up where in the kitchen mom had all of us chopping or prepping some of the dishes, whether they were Italian or Filipino. So everybody, all the ladies kind of like sat around the kitchen table. And, that's something we did. I didn't enjoy it as much as I did. And probably I was about 14. So not as young as Chef Dawn at 8. But 14 was when I started taking an interest as well. So I love that, the matriarchs in the family have passed down this passion for cooking. So, in line with that, my question is like, celebrations in both of your homes. What did they look like? Did they include noodles? Did they include a big tray of lasagna, or were they more like pancit and bihon or Mickey or any of these kinds of dishes? Chef, why don't you tell us about celebrations in your home?
Uh, Actually, in the house, every time when there's Christmas or someone's birthday, we always have that long life tradition, right? But
Yes.
normally in our house here in Bacolod, we always have something like a spaghetti, like a spaghetti bolognese with meatballs or carbonara, or we'll have a fettuccine alfredo, or macaroni salad. There's always a noodle or a pasta dish in every celebration, and I'm literally saying every celebration,
Yes. I
including the
agree.
dog's birthday.
Even your
Yeah,
doggies get long noodles
yeah.
too.
My mom's dog, my sister. The dog gets like a macaroni salad on the doggy bowl, and then that's her birthday gift.
Aw, that's so cute. I'm sure Okay, what's Marianne's dog's name? You have to tell us.
Tacky.
So cute, so cute. Okay. Rals, how about you? From celebrations from when you were a kid to now the celebrations you prepare for your own child.
In my family, it's very traditional Filipino. They like pancit. I'm not a huge fan of pancit. I'm so sorry. The only pancit I eat is pancit palabok. So, but my mom cooks spaghetti. Oh my God, super sarap for spaghetti.
Sweet
I'm not a fan
spaghetti
of the sweet spaghetti. Eh. Yeah, I like the sour one. So,
without
of course,
the
I have,
sugar. Without the sugar.
yeah. And I have my own home already. I cook pasta instead because I don't
Instead
like pancit
of
talaga.
pancit. You don't like pancit. And that's okay. No one will hold that against you. Chef Dom and I can eat your portion of pancit. And actually, palabok is one of my favorites as well. My mom didn't really cook so much Filipino food. It was like the basics. Growing up, we had like sinigang, nilaga,
Mhm.
adobo. When the titos would come, also from Pampanga, my one tita, Chef Dawn, is married. She was married to a Kapampangan, and
Mm.
when he would come over, mom and him, after the parties and the lechon was like devoured, whatever was left would go into paksiw. So they would
Oh
make
yeah.
paksiw. So that was definitely something that we had at our celebrations. Actually, Chef, I wanted to ask you because you obviously had Bacolod roots and then you have Kapampangan roots. So I know there is this debate, and um, our viewers can chime in because there's this age old debate. And I know for me, it's really hard to decide the Grense food or Kapampangan food. And I know Kapampangans will, of course, say the food is better in Pampanga, and the Grense will say, of course, the food is better in Negros. So,
Mm.
chef, you have both parts. You have like the best of both worlds here. What would be? We can ask our viewers also, guys. What do you? Everyone's saying both masarap. We have Angelica is saying both masarap. Ever, the saying Switzerland. What would you say, chef?
Um,
Hard to
well, it
decide.
really depends on the kind of food. Yeah, the food, like example, inasal. So always negros. No one
Of
can really beat
course.
inasal aside in negros. Um, in other recipes, like what I actually, when I used to study in Manila, I take road trips to Pampanga. I go to Guagua, I go to San Fernando, and I try their food, and it's actually really good. But it's there's always this taste that I look for. I mean, well, in Negros, the food is a little sweeter in terms of taste profile compared to other dishes.
Okay.
So we like to balance out like super savory dishes, like example, like adobo,
Yes.
normal adobo, or like not naman normal adobo, but I don't want to get
Average
fish. I don't want
adobo.
to, yeah,
We
like
can
the
say
everyday
average
adobo.
adobo. Yes. Average adobo.
Adobo has like a lot of soy sauce, has
Yes.
like a little bit of vinegar. But now here in Negros, we have a different way. So we don't use soy sauce as much, but we use vinegar and achuete. We use a lot of garlic. We
Yes.
don't use onion so
Yes.
much. We don't use
Yes.
bay leaf and black pepper as much. So it's a give
Okay.
and take. But
Simpler.
it's I just say it's even. In my opinion, it's even.
Both sides of your family, your ancestors are both proud.
Oh yeah.
I will say, Ditas, who is watching, she said, Basta kapampangan magluto, super sarap. So
Mm,
I guess she is team kapampangan.
yeah.
So funny that we get to discuss that, right? When we talk about pasta, a lot of the flavors that I grew up with for pasta were very Italian. And like my whole world opened up the first time I was able to make tuyo pasta. And I know that Ral's also, she even has this like longanisa pasta that even one of our producers is really super fond of. But when we talk about the pasta and the different flavors, of course everybody has their own flavor profile. How did you guys find it working with the San Remo products? Because you guys were sent products to develop your own recipes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I know it's easy for me to cook this pasta al dente, which is the way we like it, right? It's really, nobody wants mushy pasta, right? Mushy pasta is really bad. So the things that I like actually about San Remo, first is we know that they have been in the pasta making. This is an Italian family that obviously started production in, making dry pasta in Australia in 1936. It was Luigi Crotti who founded this pasta brand, but he did it with his brother, right? And so him and his brother, fun fact, they are on the package. So these are the Crotti brothers. I don't know if you guys saw it. It's a really fun fact when I was researching the brand, all the different things that they've worked into the packaging that's really cute. And so, of course, we know that this is over 80 years of experience and Italian tradition, packed into this Australian pasta that's made with 100% durum wheat. So, of course, we know that when, for me, these are the products that I store. When I store them, they could actually store. I mean, what would you guys think? How long is the shelf life of, well, I don't know about the average pasta, but San Remo pasta, if you were to keep it in the pantry, do you guys want to guess about how old or how long you can keep it?
You'd be good for about 2 years.
Yeah, yes, exactly. It's good for about 2 years in the pantry, as long as it shall stay. As long as it's not too hot. This is the way. Talk about pantry staples. Keeps in the pantry easy, and lasts quite a long time, which makes it easy. I mean, if you think about how, if we're cooking or preparing meals for our family. Chef, I know after a long day at the restaurant or at the hotel, if you were going to come home, do you enjoy cooking for the family as well? And is pasta something that you throw together quickly?
Yeah, it's actually very fast, especially with the Sanremo brand, because the pasta only takes 6 to 7 to 8 minutes al dente. So it depends on the recipe you're doing.
Right.
So 6 minutes, you're done.
Right. So if you can make your sauce that quick, which actually that tuyo pasta that I learned from a friend, which was like mind blowing for me, it literally took as long to make as the pasta took to boil.
Yeah.
So, using the tuyo from the jar with the olive oil, like all you have to do is add some olives and maybe a
Mm-hmm.
couple of vegetables if you want. It's good on its own. But I did share something. So I know all of us shared recipes. Chef, you shared a recipe. Our recipes are a little bit similar. And Ralls, you also shared a vegetarian recipe that we will be sharing with our viewers. Some of our viewers are chiming in also. So they're definitely, I think Kapampangan is winning here in the comments section.
That's
So we
why I
must.
had to be very political.
Yeah. And Ange de los Santos Mendez is saying hello to Ral's. Hi, Raleigh.
Hi.
And we also have, let's see, Vanessa says adobo is the best ulam. So I agree. Adobo, all different ways. Okay, so I'm going to share my first recipe today. Today is an episode that we're talking about some creamier dishes. And if you guys, like we talked about, even our posts ahead of time, we were talking about carbonara and different recipes that we like for celebration. So this carbonara is a different take. It's kind of like a cross between Pinoy carbonara and maybe even a little bit Italian. The Italians might be rolling over and saying like, there's no way this is Italian. I'm half Italian. I hope you guys don't disown me. This is a family favorite in our house. So I'll share it. It's fun. It's easy. It's delicious. And my dad, who is American Italian, gave it a thumbs up. So I'll take that. So you can roll that video. So this poached egg carbonara, obviously it could be served for brunch. I have served it for dinner. In this case, I kind of feel like there's no real rules when you make stuff like this. This actually came out of a recipe where I combined a little bit of the Italian and combined a little bit of the Pinoy. So here, using the extra virgin olive oil, throwing in cubed prosciutto. You could use jamon, you could use ham, you could use pancetta. Sauteed my onions, again, super hot. I like using the cast iron pan too because it retains the heat. Once the onions are translucent, then you can actually throw in the peas. If you have mushrooms, I always like fresh mushrooms as well. If you don't have fresh mushrooms, I've used canned and nobody, complains. I think that's fine too. Usually whatever you have in the pantry or in the freezer is great, right? So frozen peas are always in the freezer. And then changing this up a little bit by using the spinach fettuccine. It's actually, the fettuccine is nice and wide. It holds the cream. It can withstand all the toppings. It's a nice pasta that can sop up all the sauce and still stand the weight of all those toppings as well. So this could be good on its own, but if you wanted to just add in the egg, we loved poached eggs in our house. And one of the little tricks, so for those of you that don't poach eggs so often, you just make sure you stir it, give it a little cyclone. There's like a cap full of vinegar in there, just to keep the egg together. Throwing in the pasta to coat it. So it's not all the way cooked when I pull it out of the water. But just tossing it in the sauce, making sure you have toppings because of course the kids love the toppings as well, and just plating it and then adding the poached egg on top. Really, it's like a complete meal. It's definitely heavy. If you are going to have this for brunch, it can keep you all the way till like 2 or 3 o'clock because it is kind of heavy, but super simple. It's a different take. It's not using the egg yolks in that sense, but it still has the yummy, jammy yolk that we all look for. So super yum. My dad liked it, so hopefully the Italians won't disown me for doing it this way.
That actually reminds me of a summertime pasta that's done in France.
Really?
Yeah.
So do they also use cured meat as well?
Yeah, they use speckle sometimes, or
Yes.
jamon, or and then they actually use the same ingredients you put. They actually do the same thing.
Oh, how fun. I didn't even know that. I think I need to tell Nino to take me to France so we could have it there. Hun. Excellent. Okay. So, have you guys tried? I know, so San Remo has a bunch of different products. Actually, I want a pan because I know even Chef, you used something similar. You created a similar recipe, but you also used one of the different pastas that many people might not even know. San Remo actually has gluten-free pasta. So for those of you guys that are gluten-free, Chef, tell us about this and what's the difference between cooking, a gluten-free dish versus, one made with the regular flour.
Well, so sometimes it has a different texture compared to other types of spaghetti noodles. And the nice thing about it is that, especially for us in the restaurant or in the hotel, we have guests who are gluten free. I can't have soy. Those specific I don't want. So we can easily provide something for them that can cater to them without compromising on taste, on texture. And what's fun is that it is San Remo pasta is actually very, very versatile. We can do so many things. We can use it in so many ways. And yeah, the texture is actually, there's barely any difference with the texture. But for me, it's still a thumbs up.
Fantastic. So, and I love that you're actually familiar with it. So you knew about San Remo before we sent some products over for you to create your recipe. Okay, since we were talking about carbonara, Ral's, Pinoy carbonara or Italian carbonara? That now we're like Kapampangan
Um,
or, or
I'm just
Pinoy or
not a fan
Italian.
of the one with bell peppers because I've tried one. They use bell peppers. It's weird, eh?
Okay.
Parang it changes the whole taste. But I was able to try the carbonara. My fave is actually Mary Grace carbonara. But I was
Okay.
able to try one. I forgot the name of the restaurant, but there's a restaurant in Cubao and they do the traditional carbonara. It's also
Okay.
super delicious.
So traditional carbonara, traditional Italian carbonara, I know that they use the jowl, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
Guanciale.
yes, they use the guanciale, and then they have egg yolks, and it's
Mm-hmm.
called pecorino romano, right? And it's very simple. There's like a handful of ingredients that go into the Italian. Pinoy
Mm-hmm. True.
carbonara has cream. So Italian carbonara does not have cream. The cream comes from the egg yolks and the cheese
Mm-hmm.
mixing up, and that's, for me, it's really hard to choose between the two because depending on my mood, I'm going to be very political in my answer. Depending on my mood, I like Filipino and I like Italian. Chef, are we gonna like ride the fence here, or are you gonna choose one?
Um, I have to be honest. I have to be honest. I actually like the classic version of, let's just call it a classic version of the carbonara, because I love it, especially if it's done well, because the egg yolk is very creamy. You get the
Yeah,
smoky, salty taste of they can use pancetta, or they use the guanciale, or they even use hamon, and I mean, you can't beat simplicity. But
yes.
Mm-hmm.
my wife is saying that she likes the local one better. So
Well,
yeah,
then you guys balance each other out as well. So that's
yeah.
also good because it's also all about the balance. So, how about you guys in the comments? We do want to hear from you. Not only do we want to know where you're coming from. So, Venice Maha Guzman says, my
Oh my god,
sister
that's my
makes,
sister.
she says, that's why I figured it was your sister. She said, my sister makes super good carbonara. And I believe you, Venice. I believe you. I'm so glad that you're here watching. Remember, hashtag sharing is caring, guys. We are coming up on our first Quiz the Cook question all the way at 4:26. So we will be zipping through the program. Up for grabs is EVOO with truffle. We also have lasagna and fettuccine. And remember that you should be watching either from the Rappler or the Mama and Manila Facebook page, and sharing that to make sure that it's public. This first question, the first person to answer correctly will win this care package from San Remo, and it will get sent directly to your door in Metro Manila. Okay, so let's start with this question. Rouse, could you read our question for us? We'll bring up that card.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I can't see the
Yeah, the
other
card is not
screen.
there. Okay. So let's see. I can read it for now, and then we will. There it
Oh,
is.
there. Who founded the San Remo company?
There you go. We
Good
mentioned
luck.
this earlier. And remember, the first person to answer correctly who has a Metro Manila address, and of course, who has shared the live stream, will take home this care package from Chef Remo. Okay. So when creating pasta dishes, we talked about Pinoy flavor, we talked about Italian flavor. I like bringing the two together. Sometimes, even just throwing in a little bit of anchovies and some Pinoy vegetables for me are great as well. How about the two of you? When it comes to experimenting, how adventurous are you in sharing different recipes, pasta recipes? Chef, how
Oh,
adventurous do you like?
adventurous, very adventurous, very very.
So, what's like the
Uh,
most
there,
adventurous pasta dish you've made?
uh, well, not really a pasta dish, but mostly the experiments on pasta. I tried to do an experiment with the San Remo pasta. I was curious on how I could give it the texture and taste of ramen noodles. And we
Ooh.
did it. We found a way how to do it, and it surprisingly has the feel and texture of ramen noodles.
Which noodle did you use?
I used the same one, the gluten-free spaghetti dried pasta,
Fantastic. I can't,
and
wow, that's like so amazing.
yeah, it was actually we experimented so much on like what if we do if we submerge this in the sauce, or if we put it in the sauce still dried, or we cook it in salt, or we cook it in another kind of seasoning, or all of these things. And we found out that it is actually surprisingly it is a lot more versatile than other brands, because we tried it on another brand just because we're curious, but so
Yes,
far, San Remo actually came out with the exact bite that you would get
from a noodle,
for
from a ramen.
a ramen noodle. Yeah.
That's so interesting to learn. And what I find even more interesting is how you approached it like a scientist, just changing the one variable, right? Like changing the one variable and how you're going to cook it each way, like each time. Um, I'm curious. I want to try doing that myself as well. I do think we have our first winner. I will say it looks like, whoops, wait, we're okay for this winner. Okay, it looks like we are. Yes, we are. Oh, and we know this winner, Chef Don. Congratulations, Mock Agnes de la Cruz. We are so happy that you're tuning in and that you get to get your own San Remo package so you can create something inspired by Chef Don or Raleigh or even me, and we get to see what you make. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yes, be sure to answer the team so that we can get your address and contact information. Okay, so Chef, wait, Chef talked about ramen. Ral's, what's the most the most outrageous or adventurous dish you've made with pasta?
Not really outrageous, but recently I've been watching a lot of K-drama kasi and sometimes I
Oh,
crave for Korean food. So
yes.
recently I made a miso gochugaru pasta with
Ooh.
kimchi on top, spinach kimchi. Oh my God, it's so good. I'm gonna make
Oh,
it
that
again later.
sounds so yummy.
Yeah, I just used spaghetti and added lots of vegan cheese on top to balance, the spiciness of the food. Yeah, it's good.
Yes,
You should try
excellent. I want to try it. I
We have to try it.
definitely,
it.
you both inspired me to take spaghetti to new levels in Asian flavors. And the most adventurous I've ever gotten is like a peanut sesame oil. Nino makes like this spicy peanut sauce that's super good. I haven't really experimented that much, but when he made that, I'm like, oh, I think I could do this. Maybe could even add shrimp and some green onions, like getting inspired. But now we have Japanese and Korean flavors as well. So, guys, all you have to do for our viewers out there also is just get get in the kitchen and experiment, have fun, share
Mhm.
that kitchen love, of course, and do it with the family, because even with San Remo, even their hashtags, we are family, and we are when we're playing around with pasta flavors like this. Um, Chef, I think we can share your pasta dish that you created for us using that gluten-free pasta. Would you like to walk us through it?
Sure.
Okay.
So this pasta is actually very easy to make, and the ingredients you can find at home. Uh, we have poached egg, some hamon, guanciale, shallots, chicken mushrooms you can actually find in the grocery store, and parmesan. And of course, white wine. Why not? Early in the morning. And some heavy cream. So I'm actually going to use three ingredients here. So we have the garlic infused, and the white truffle infused, and the gluten-free pasta. So this actually is an amazing oil. It has like aromas of garlic. That's why I didn't add any garlic to this. And surprisingly, it still pops out at the end. So we cook this down and make sure it's just sweated, not really crispy, because we want
Mm,
it to melt into the sauce. Because the
yes.
guanciale is just like fat. We add the mushrooms because this actually gives it an umami twist. It gives it more umami, gives it more flavor. Then we add the white wine, and you can use any white wine you'd like. It depends on you. If you want to be fancy, whatever you drink, you can actually cook with.
Yeah.
So it's actually much better.
Yeah.
So after we
Yes.
reduce, we add our cream. So no stuff whatsoever. So it's very pure reduced flavor.
Okay.
Then once that's mixed thoroughly, we add our Parmesan cheese to give it more. This is my salt basically.
Yes.
And then we transfer the pasta in. So that only took me 6 minutes to cook the pasta, and I only put salt. Just that. Salt and boiling water, that's all you need when you're cooking pasta.
That's it.
So by now, what we do is after we mix everything, we turn off the heat. The reason why we turn off the heat because the 2 minutes that will take for it to be perfectly al dente will come out just in those 2 minutes.
Right.
And also when we add the white truffle oil, if we use too much of a high heat flame, the essence of the truffle oil goes away. So you have to keep it fresh.
Right.
So if you want to be fancy, you can put a poached egg, you can put a fried egg if you want. And then you can put hamon, you can put bacon, whatever dried meats you'd like. It's a very easy recipe to play with. And then we just finish with some more white truffle oil to give it really that unctuous truffle flavor. Enjoy.
Love it. Love it. Super yum. Actually, even Catherine Sikat, one of our viewers, said, "Ang bilis ng good morning pasta." Yes, 6 minutes.
It's very
That's
fast. Yeah.
Fantastic. So we do have another Quiz the Cook question. Guys, for those of you tuning in, remember that you have to live in Metro Manila, share the live stream, and of course, make sure it's set to public so we can see that you are sharing, of course, our very caring recipes. Up for grabs, we have extra virgin olive oil. We also have extra virgin olive oil with truffle, which is both what Chef Don used for his good morning pasta and what I used in my lasagna. We also have lasagna and fettuccine that you will receive at home, so you can create your own recipes as well. We are picking commenter number 4, and Chef Don, could you read our question for us for this one?
Okay. Let me look for the question.
Yes.
Here. So how long is the shelf life of San Remo dry pasta products?
Yeah, so I know we talked about this earlier, and there are lots of different ways you can, extend the shelf life of any of your pantry staples. But for us, of course, keeping it simple and just leaving it in the cabinet is one way to be sure that they're there if we didn't cook them all. Okay, Rals, let's talk about changing things up because I know you're vegetarian. I know Cholate is also like a vegetarian cafe that has been your baby for some time now. When you're cooking your dishes, how much do you take into consideration the pasta that you're using, or, obviously you want fresh vegetables before anything else, but tell us about the inspiration and how does it change when you're introducing veggies into, like, let's say a toddler's diet. Do you use pasta to make it easy?
Actually, I like using San Remo because of the ingredients. It's very simple. Usually, I'm very conscious now. When I visit the grocery, I look at the back packaging of the products and I read everything because I'm scared if there are ingredients that you can't pronounce. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah. So with San Remo, I like it because it's straightforward. I know all the ingredients, and incorporating it with Cholate, I make dishes that fun fact. Most of our customers are not really vegetarian. So
Oh,
yeah, I was surprised then also. So every time I cook something, I try to keep in mind that this should be something that the carnivores would enjoy, because yeah, because I didn't become vegetarian because I didn't like the taste of meat. I actually like the taste of meat, so I like creating something that I would make me not miss the taste of meat.
Okay.
Do you get it? Yeah.
Yes, I do get it. So then tell us why you decided to become vegetarian? Because everybody has different reasons, right?
Yeah.
Why
Well,
did you choose that?
with my son Nico, I just want to give him a good head start in life. Because no one got sent to the hospital for eating bell pepper, or maybe because they're allergic to it. But I just want him to have a good head start, healthy, and with our pediatrician, he told us that he wants Nico to eat vegetables instead of drinking the multivitamins, etc., etc. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's why I decided to really shift our diet.
that actually, as moms, I know that's what we do. We do everything we can for our kids. And I like that
Mhm.
quote. No one ever got sent to the hospital for eating bell pepper. I would change it and just say, no one ever got sent to the hospital from eating veggies. So eat your veggies. My dish later on definitely has some more veggies, and it's not something I've made often. Honestly, I can say the last time I made it, I was probably in New York with my bestie. I've been living here now for 16 years. I haven't made this dish in a very long time, but I loved it. And my son, when I made it, said, "Mom, what's in the lasagna?" I looked at him and I was like, vegetables. Like, he's just so not used to it. But I love that we both got to share some different recipes today. Why don't we share? Let's see if we have our winner yet. I don't think we do. No winner yet. So before we share your video, let's ask Chef Dawn. Dawn, are there days that you choose not to have meat and that you just like work in veggies to different dishes as well? Like, I know in our house we try to have meatless Mondays. Is this something you try to practice with your family as a chef as well?
Oh, sad to say, not really.
It's okay. Yeah, we're all about food honesty here.
um,
We don't have to pretend.
I'm I'm literally the definition of a carnivore.
Okay.
So steak, beef, pork, chicken, whatever, as long as it clucks, moos, or oinks, I'm good.
That's good.
Uh,
And there is no
but
judgment here,
there,
so don't worry about that.
yeah, but there are days there are days that sometimes na if I'm craving for pasta, I do a pesto, or if not, yeah, or I do a artichoke and spinach, creamy artichoke and spinach pasta. I do something like that, and
Yeah.
maybe once every 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are I'm not as adventurous with vegetables as I'm supposed to be.
Well, that's okay. That's all right. You can learn from
Yeah,
Raleigh and us. Raleigh.
I actually have. Yeah, I have to.
Rob, do you want to share your pasta and walk us through this vegetarian dish
All right.
so we can roll that video?
There. So I'm making the roasted bell pepper and eggplant pasta. So you can just chop everything. I don't really mind if you don't dice them because we will blend it later. We'll put it in the blender later. This is my way of hiding vegetables in the dish because my son, he doesn't like eggplant. It's mushy. He doesn't like the texture. So
Yeah.
I put it in the blender so that he won't see it, but still be able to enjoy the nutrients in the bell pepper.
And I see
There, so
lots
I
of
just
garlic.
yes. Oh my God, I love garlic. Sometimes in the
Yes.
recipes, they tell I can read it and they're like use 2 cloves of garlic lang. Parang I'm like, oh my God, why? I'm a
Me
garlic
too.
person.
Yeah. So that must mean that you're a little bit Italian, because if a recipe calls for 2 cloves of garlic, we'll double that and we may even triple that. We'll be like, no,
Yeah. So there, I use the basil olive oil just to add flavor and saute everything. And then there, the eggplant and the bell pepper, just cook until soft and add a little char to it for added flavor because That's the only thing we're gonna depend on for the sauce.
Right.
Okay. So, ayan na, it's
So
done
super
cooking.
easy. You could just saute this and maybe even do it ahead of time too.
I usually, when I cook this, I usually use my air fryer oven because I like cooking my noodles at the same time. But for
Okay.
those lang who don't own an air fryer and oven, you can use your pan. That's not a
Right.
problem. So there, I added tomato sauce and cashews. The cashew is for so that you can make it creamy. This
Yeah.
is a great recipe for those who like creamy dishes but are, vegan or lactose intolerant. Like my mom, she can't handle cream, so this is great. And added nutrients too. So
Yeah.
there, just heat it up again after blending everything and add your own cheese or vegan cheese. In my case, I make my own vegan cheese with nutritional yeast and cashews and garlic. And
I
just
love that
add
you
it to
said
the pasta.
yeah. So did you guys know you could make your own vegan cheese? If you want to learn how, Raleigh can actually share how easy it is. Super easy.
Yeah. And there. It's done. Yay.
Excellent.
See,
And
no
so
one will suspect that it's bell pepper and egg cream.
So I've done something similar in with my kids as well. Like I've sauteed a bunch of veggies, and usually what I'll do is like I'll go after the veggies that look like they're ready to go bad, right? So before they go bad, I'll saute a bunch and then throw it in to the mix. Okay, so we do have a winner finally for the last quiz the cook question. Congratulations, Liam Sky Magana. You answered correctly with 2 years for the shelf life. So just make sure to answer the team when they reach out so that we can get your prizes to you to your Metro Manila address. All right. So I loved that you use cashews. I know cashews make everything creamy. Ral's did send over. So I'm going to go ahead and take a bite. And then Ral's, if you want to share any other tips for any of the viewers who might want to introduce more veggies to their toddlers, to their family, through some vegetarian dishes, why don't you go ahead and give them that hint?
Oh, one tip I do with my son, I don't label the food. Like with veggies, I don't use this is healthy, and then the cookies, I don't tell him that this is bad or full of sugar. I just call everything food. And then I serve everything at the same time. Like he's eating rice with his ulam, and he's also eating a cookie at the same time. Surprisingly, they go for the food and not for the dessert because for them
Not
it's
for
just
the
normal food. Yeah.
right.
I don't put dessert on a pedestal. So that's one tip if you want your kids to eat more healthy food.
I
Kids
definitely.
are the hardest critics.
They're the most honest.
Yeah.
They're the
Aside
most.
from my wife and my mom, kids are the hardest critics.
Chef Don must have had some kids come in and give them
Oh
their
yeah,
Hello?
in the
Are you
hotel you'll actually
traumatized?
encounter a lot of kids.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
and they'll
So
only
go ahead.
they'll only tell you if it's good or not. That's it.
Yeah.
No nothing. That's like, is it
That's
good?
it.
No. Is it bad? Yes.
So it's either a thumbs up or a thumbs down. One
Yeah.
thing that I just learned, I just learned this today. I don't know if you guys, I know I'm a little bit older than both of you, but apparently Gen Zers say that it's very rude to give a thumbs up. And like, I know that this is something a lot of people use in emojis and these different things. And I asked my kids, hey guys, I read this article. They said it's rude to give a thumbs up. Is it rude? And they're like, absolutely, it's rude. It's dismissive. It's this. I'm like, no, thumbs up means it's a good job. It's yummy. It's delicious. Right? Does
Really? I
thumbs
didn't
up
know
mean
about
that
that.
for you? Yeah, it's new.
I have
I
no
guess.
idea about that.
Okay, so then we're of the same generation. I'll kid myself for a little
Yes.
while. Ralph, I tasted the pasta and it's so creamy. You wouldn't think that there isn't cream. So the cashew definitely, like I had a couple of bites while we were just here on cam. So I love that it's just veggies. How easy is that? Okay, we do have another Quiz a Cook question. Again, so this is the third question, right? So that means it's 1, 4, 3. So the third person to answer correctly will get to take home extra virgin olive oil and extra virgin olive oil with truffle from La Española. And then we'll also have lasagna that you get to make. You'll get to try your own take on lasagna, whether you want to use veggies or not, that's up to you. And fettuccine as well from San Remo. So you guys can create some of the recipes that we've created here on the show for your families at home. Remember that you need to be watching from both either Rappler or Mama and Manila on Facebook and commenting in the section so that we can see the comments, and of course, sharing the live stream on your own pages with it set to public so that we can see. I will read this third question. So we'll just show the tile and then I'll go ahead and read it. So remember, third person to answer correctly. When you cook pasta, you want it to still be firm when bitten. What is this called? All right, guys. This is very important to the Italians. But we will go ahead. Yeah. So we will go ahead and I think we can show the next video. I know my mom is watching. I thought I saw her comment. Hi, Mom. Mom is just in the other room, but I will just say hello. Hi, Mom. Mom makes the best meatballs. All right, so we will show. I want to share. So it's a different take on lasagna. I haven't made this in a while. I'm excited to share it. And I'm excited actually that when I did make it, everybody loved it. Dad had a big slice. Nino was, saying how good it was. And Diego ate it, even though he was questioning what was in it. So, it was good. So we'll roll this video while we're waiting for the third person to answer correctly. So this is zucchini lasagna. It's actually my best friend, Venice, back home. We used to cook a lot together, and she found this recipe that we made, and we kind of just altered it and made our own. I used button mushrooms here. These are just the brown button mushrooms. I didn't want the garlic to get too brown, so I threw it in with the mushrooms at the same time. Slice the zucchinis like steak, right? Super simple. And in this case, the big zucchinis that we're getting now are perfect for this. I don't have a grill. If I did have a grill, I would have done grilled zucchini because giving it a little char also adds the flavor as well. It's hard when you're in a condo. You have to kind of make adjustments. So throwing it in the oven at 400 degrees, rubbing it with olive oil, salt, and pepper. And of course, you're making sure you're using really yummy salt. Once the mushrooms are brown, I wanted to use the same pan, and this is where I would make my white sauce, the bechamel. So there are lots of different things. You could do this with a white sauce. You could do this with just the different kinds of cheese, ricotta, maybe even, of course, your mozz. The lasagna sheets are instant, so you need the moisture from the zucchini and from the bechamel. Now, there also is a local brand that I like to use when I'm lazy to make bechamel, and it comes in a little sachet. So it's very easy. It's usually in my pantry as well for when the kids want to make something or when they want to make, easy mac and cheese. It's quite easy. All you have to do is add your cheese to it. Set the zucchini aside. And then, of course, this lasagna is so big, you just need 1.5 sheets for an 8x8. Add your white sauce. Of course, again, breaking the sheets so that it's even, because it's a non-boil lasagna. The moisture from the zucchini when it cooks is what will just firm everything up. Layering the mushrooms, I put some ricotta. If you wanted to put other cheeses, you could experiment with Asiago or maybe even queso puti if you wanted to add that. I think that would be good too. Layer your lasagna. Again, there's no wrong way to make a lasagna. It's just the layers of like what you want to put in there. And for the amount of bechamel that I made, it was perfect for this 8x8 pan. And this 8x8 did not make it to the next meal. It was finished in one sitting. So super easy. Again, layering, you could choose whatever pizza, whatever cheese you wanted to put, if you wanted to put pizza topping on top as well. I went with mozzarella, with the Parmesan, and of course the ricotta in between with the layers. There's local ricotta that's super easy and readily available. The big tubs of ricotta that I grew up with, I can't find them here. They're obviously a northeastern thing. So finishing it off with just a little bit of truffle oil. This was so good and so easy to make. And actually, I didn't feel guilty if everybody wanted to have bigger than their slice because it has lots of veggies, right? So very easy. And I think we have our winner for the last question. Let's see. Here we go. Elizabeth Guzman. Congratulations.
Oh that's my mom.
Congratulations, Mommy Elizabeth. We are so glad you're tuning in.
My family so supportive.
Super supportive. Your sister and your mom who else is watching, Ralph?
The Mambubudos. Hi, Mambubudos.
Yes, I'm so glad you said hello to them. Hello, Mama Boodles. Tell us a story first about how you guys came together, because actually I know I have my little tofu stick over here somewhere.
We're a part of Brand Buzz, and they all ordered the tofu isaw at the same time. And it's difficult to talk to. I just created the Viber GC so that I can deliver it to them all at the same time. And that's how we started with the
Yeah.
tofu isaw.
It all started from the tofu isaw. So here, you guys can see it. So guys, I really don't eat
Yes.
isaw.
I actually made that for those who don't like to eat street food because, they're kind of scared to try it. So I made isaw. My mom loves isaw, so I made a vegetarian version so that people can still enjoy street food without being scared of eating meat.
Super
I have to try
fun.
that. That looks interesting.
It's
Yeah.
yummy. Yummy. Wait,
And it's cheap and easy to make.
I have a confession. So you guys know I moved here from New York, and a lot of times my husband was so patient with me with the food that I was very picky about. First, my first confession is there's a certain fried chicken brand that I never had. It took me 12 years to try this fried chicken that brings everybody joy. And I never ate it. And then when I ate it, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been missing out for so long that I never ate this fried chicken because I really didn't like anything fried. I'm kind of like more of a pickier, healthier, I wouldn't eat something like that. And then during a potluck, one of my friends also brought over liempo, and it was like grilled and like the fat was almost all gone. And I never liked liempo because I could see the layers of the fat and it kind of the texture for me. So that's the texture thing for me, Ralph. Like I don't like mushy either.
Yeah.
So I couldn't eat it. And then when I had it, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been missing out for so long. And so
You
now we
almost
have
missed half of your life.
I did. I really almost did, chef. And then so now I'm trying. I have tried isao. I have tried, and I have tried. What's the one that it's the chicken butt? What do they call that?
Isol.
I've tried that as well.
Isol. Yeah.
Okay, I've tried that as well. But then on Sunday, for the very first time, I tried. So this is my confession to all of my viewers. I tried chicharon bulaklak for the first time. And I ate it and I liked it. So I was, that's my little confession about eating different Pinoy foods that I obviously didn't grow up with in New York. So the fact that I can now have tofu isao, which I definitely like better than regular isao.
Yay!
What?
It's like, what? I'm a carnivore.
Well, the
Sure.
kids, the kids, they told me that it's like bacon now, so it's good.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Great. Okay. So that's my little confession on street food. I hope everybody doesn't disown me because this is the first time I'm trying. Oh, the first time I tried chicharon bulaklak. Wait, we have Ange also said super love the tofu isao. So she's definitely someone who loves it. And Mok says she loves chicharon bulaklak. Thanks, guys, for letting me know. Okay, let's see, we have two more questions, right? So we have question four, two more times you can win. We are coming to the end of the program, so we will ask this next question. And I'll ask Ralph. Ralph, could you read the Quiz the Cook question? We can go ahead and show the tile.
Okay, true or false, traditional Italian carbonara contains cream.
Great. Okay, so while you guys are answering, remember this is the fourth person to answer correctly. Winner is going to take home extra virgin olive oil with truffle. You'll also get your own lasagna and fettuccine so that you can try these recipes at home. You must have a Metro Manila address. And remember, it's so important for you to have shared the live stream. Okay, guys? Hashtag sharing is caring. So once we get that answer, from the fourth person who answers correctly, we can go ahead and talk about some more prizes. But before we do that, Chef, why don't you tell us, Chef and Raleigh, actually, because Raleigh, I know you're going to be opening up Cholate again very soon. Tell us, what your tips. Let's just start with family cooks at home. What would be, a tip or a trick to creating better dishes or, quick and easy dishes at home for your family? So we'll start with Chef and then Raleigh.
Well, actually, even with other recipes that I do and I serve to our customers, our clients, I actually like to keep it simple. Simple flavors, simple textures, simple techniques, because your presentation at the end of the day will say a lot of what of your food is. Because your food can look like I actually tell a lot of my cooks, if the food looks really beautiful but the taste isn't there, so it's
Mm-hmm.
still a little useless. So
Mm-hmm.
it's always great to find that balance of good food and really good presentation as well. But at home, it's actually the simpler the food, the better. Like my wife, she's from Manila, she's Tagalog, and then every time when I make adobo, she always likes chicken liver adobo with potatoes. If I make like soup, she'll always like linaga, but like Tagaytay style linaga or sinigang na baka, those things. So it's even for me, it helps me practice how to do simple food or home cooked meals because she'd always tell me, you can cook really fancy food, but you suck at homegrown food. And I'm like, okay,
What? Tell me how you really feel.
yeah. So it gives me a chance to practice a lot.
Ah, well, you know what? She's only that honest because she loves you that much.
Yeah.
Rals, what are your tips? Let's say for home cooks, and then of course tips for running a small restaurant as well, like when you're ready to open Cholate again.
It's really important to use the freshest ingredients, and premium ingredients because if the recipe is great but you're not using fresh ingredients, everything will taste bad talaga. Um, Also, it's very important to take into heart the taste buds. Ask everyone if this is okay. For me, it's like that because sometimes I'm like, oh my God, ang sarap nitong niluto ko. But when I ask my mom, oh my God, she's my biggest critic also. When I ask her if this is delicious, she's like, ew, ang alat, ganun. So, um, and it's also important to like, know your customers well if you want to open a restaurant. Like with us, with Cholate, the moment a customer walks in, because they're loyal clients na. I know that this one he doesn't like pepper and this one is not into salty food. So it's very important to take into consideration then even if you're the for me even if you're the chef, you also have to make the customers happy. So there's a balance for that. Mm. Yun lang.
Cooking for yourself and of course cooking for someone else, there's always a different way to do it, right? We want to cook the food that our family loves as well
Mhm.
as and our customers or clients for in your case, both of you guys with your restaurants. So definitely things to consider. Very very important. While we're talking about that, I'm going to go ahead and announce this next winner. So this is the fourth person who answered correctly. Apollinario. Apollinario. I can't say that. Does someone want to help me?
Kagitla?
Kagisha?
Kagit,
Kagisha?
kag, it's an L, I think.
Kagikla.
Kagikla.
Kagikla? Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Kagikla.
Apollinario, we're sorry for butchering your
Congratulations.
name, but we will say congratulations so that you can go ahead and, of course, claim your prizes by making sure that you turn over your address and your contact information. You answered correctly. Traditional Italian carbonara does not contain cream of any sort. Good job. Okay. Before we end, Chef, tell everyone, if they're in Bacolod, where can they come find you? And, how can they follow you on social media if you're active on social media, what you're up to, if you have any new projects. Tell the viewers where they can find Chef Don.
Hi, so yes, I am the executive chef at Stonehill Suites, and you can come anytime and try our View restaurant. And we actually moved our bistro from our old location to our new location, which would either be also in Stonehill Suites or in different location. And at the same time, I do certain pop-ups, sometimes in Manila, sometimes here locally. And well, you can. I have a Facebook. It's Don Angelo Colmenares, and same thing on my Instagram. It's Don Colmenares, and you'll actually see me post a little bit about food. I don't really post that much, but every time I post, you know that it's something like that really caught my attention, especially if I post about food.
Excellent. Excellent. So you do have to tell us, let us know when you're coming into Manila, because we definitely want to come and join your pop-up and see you and say hello. Of course, I'm sure the viewers would like to do that too. So if you have anything coming up
Of
soon,
course.
let us know so we can, of course, amplify and share that as well. Raleigh, how
Yep.
can people come and try your dishes, or where can they order? And how can they find you on social media?
My handle in social media it's Raleigh.Guzman and my restaurant it's Cholate Bar PH. So just look for me and order online. Um, Actually, fun fact pala, we were in Bacolod almost 2 months ago. I think sayang we weren't able to try your food. Next time we may go.
Sayang.
Next time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So you guys can follow both Raleigh and Chef Don for anything new that they have coming up. I'm sure they'll be updating us and, of course, letting us know, especially when Chef Don's coming back in and when Cholate is open again. We are excited for that. Guys, I know that everybody gets really excited for the care packages from our partners, and San Remo still has one more package left for today for the fifth quiz the cook question. Remember, if it's the fifth quiz the cook question, we are going with the winners with the 14344. Hey, do you guys know what that means, Chef Don and Raleigh? Do you know what 14344 means?
I think
One
it's a
for three
code.
because kitchen 143. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so kitchen 143 is kitchen I love you.
Love you. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
love you. right? 143 is I love you. And then 14344 is I love you very much, right? So it's the number
Oh.
of letters in each word, 143. So that's really fun that, yes, it is beeper code. For those of you who do know beepers, you are of this generation or above.
Hey,
So,
I know beepers.
you know beepers. Okay, so we had beeper code. So when Nino and I had beepers, we would text each other 143. So there we go. Okay, so fifth question, which means the fourth person to answer correctly if you have shared the live stream, and of course if you are watching from the Rappler or the Mama and Manila Facebook page. Up for grabs from San Remo, we have extra virgin olive oil. We also have extra virgin olive oil with truffle, which both Chef Don and I use. We also have lasagna and fettuccine, so you guys will get to experiment. There's so many other products. So guys, San Remo, if you're not, first they're all in all the grocery stores, and if you don't find a specific variant, right, because the risoni is sometimes a little bit hard to come by, so I stock this one. Also bow ties or the farfalle, right? If there are things that you know that San Remo makes and you don't see them in the grocery store, you can go ahead also and order from the Sisu Food Hub. It's very easy to order. They send everything right to your door. And it comes packaged perfectly. You're not going to worry about anything breaking. It's like really great. And then if you want to also look for some other inspirational recipes, you can look for the website, sanremo.com.au. But all right, last question. I'll ask this question because, or maybe actually Don, Chef Don, would you please read this question for our viewers?
Okay. Which San Remo product did Michelle Aventajado use to make her poached egg carbonara?
Okay, so both Chef Don and I used poached eggs in our recipes, and they could be used for brunch. They could be used for breakfast, lunch. I have served mine for dinner. Rals, you also shared another dish with both me and one of the producers who's very familiar with your products and with your dishes. Tell us about the dish where you also add an egg to your pasta.
It's one of our best sellers. It's the garlic longanisa pasta. I am trying to veganize it. Kaya I make it again. I made it again so that I can experiment and try how to, turn it into vegan. Usually when I experiment with food, I like eating the original one so just I can compare the
Yeah.
taste. If this is if the taste will pass the carnivore, taste buds. Because
We have
with Cholate,
try it.
yeah, because with Cholate, that's what I want for the people to be able to enjoy the dishes that they grew up eating. Like we have
Right.
the bistec in our shop, the shawarma, and I veganize them so that you won't really miss the food. You won't feel like left out or you're like depriving yourself.
Right.
Well,
Right. I'm curious how you'll make that vegan longanisa and not necessarily the longanisa from the north.
mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, I know.
But I love that vegan longanisa too, actually. I got a little
Yeah, it's
confused when I
good.
had vegan longanisa for the first time. And when Nino and I actually went to vegan for our anniversary, I didn't bring home anything except vegan longanisa and honey, what's the name of the pork?
Bagnet.
Yes.
Bagnet.
Yeah.
So, so I brought home bagnet, I brought home longanisa, and forget about anything else. I think as I've gotten older, I'm not really interested in shopping. I'm not really interested in buying trinkets or things to bring home for pasalubong. It's like, this is the best in this area, so I'm going to bring it home for you. So my sister was
Mhm.
very happy when I brought her home bagnet and longanisa.
Who won't be?
Right? So I love that you took the longanisa and made a pasta from it too. It's not, I've heard of it before. I actually haven't tried making it, and I liked it. It was really yummy. I love that there's lots of garlic, so it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely an up here for the garlic content. Um, and I like that there's an egg, so it could be for brunch as well.
Mm-hmm.
I know that one of our producers is very happy. So we can actually say happy birthday to him. Happy birthday, Julianne. You
Happy
have your
birthday,
Happy
Julian.
birthday, Jewel.
So, all right. I think we may actually have a winner. Do we have a winner yet? Not yet, but we can chat some more about we can. I see some people a little confused with the answers they're giving, so they might not have been paying attention so much in the chats. Hey guys, for those of you that are, answering and you've given your answers already for the quizzical question. If you have any questions, actually for Chef Dawn and Raleigh, you guys can list them here. Of course, we can read them. And handle wise, I know Raleigh, you said your handle on IG, and Dawn, you said you're not so active on IG, but you are a little bit more active on Facebook. Was that correct?
Oh no, I'm active on both, but it's just I
Okay.
don't post that much.
Okay. So if you have any questions and you weren't able to ask them here during the show, you can certainly go ahead and shoot them a message for them to answer too. Because I know, sharing is caring, and that's why they're here too. They're sharing their favorite recipes, their favorite pasta recipes. If you were, guys, if you were a pasta shape, what pasta shape would you be and why? Chef Don.
Ooh, me, actually the shape I don't know if it's a tagliatelle.
Okay.
Tagliatelle because there are some I my memories but it's like has stuffing, and then so basically every time when you make the sauce, so the sauce would actually stick and like have a
Yes,
like a soupy, like the
it does.
sauce sticks to the pasta. So it take
Yes.
so every bite you have a bite of the pasta, you have the bite of the stuffing, you have the sauce. So it's like an all around pasta.
Yes. I love that too. Rals, if you were a pasta shape, what would you be?
Is this a shape? Angel hair. I like angel hair pasta. Yeah, it
Yes.
hugs the sauce so well, and I can use it with cooking Italian dishes, even Asian pasta dishes. Like I love using angel hair when making what they call that, sesame peanut with garlic. It's so simple with just mushrooms. Yeah,
Yes.
so easy to make.
With shiitake mushrooms, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yes. Angel hair is great for Asian flavors. I
Mhm.
agree. If I was a pasta shape, I think I would either be penne or rigatoni. Rigatoni.
Mm.
Penne or rigatoni. And I like both of those because they both have ridges. So rigatoni has lots of ridges on the outside. Penne rigate has lots of ridges on the outside as well. But when you bite into it, if the sauce is really thick or if there's meat in it, and then you bite, there's like a little surprise in every pasta. So I think I would either be penne or rigatoni, which brings us to our winner, who is going to take home fettuccine and, of course, lasagna, care of San Remo. And of course, so we are so excited that we are allowed to announce. Here we go. Congratulations, Ditas Emperador Tolentino. You answered correctly with spinach fettuccine. You were paying attention. That's all we have for this second episode of a 3-part series where we get to celebrate World Pasta Month all month long with San Remo. Chef, thank you for joining me. Raleigh,
Thank
thank you
you.
for joining me.
Thank you for having
We
me.
got to spend time in the kitchen together. And guys, we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.